was at Reedy High School, still an employee at Reedy High School in Frisco. And coincidentally, we also find a lot of these books there. Now, I mentioned that the district said, well, hardly anybody's checked them out. Nobody checks out library books. They're way back in the dusty corner of the library. Nobody even goes back there. And it's funny how the story changes every time we find out that they're lying, because at Frisco ISD at Reedy High School, there was a huge display and a huge case with 24 sexually explicit books highlighted in this graphic rape and sex display at Reedy High School that all the students had to go back. Now, when I say a graphic rape display, what I'm talking about is a mannequin, a female mannequin, in a skirt and a top with bloody handprints all over the mannequin. Now, some of the posters there talk about things like consent, which that's a beautiful thing to teach people, right? I mean, people need to understand, young boys need to know no means no. Okay? No means no. Period, the end. No means no. Okay? But, can you just imagine being a young lady in high school who has all the fears in the world about their body and about what people think of them, that may be a sexual assault survivor, having to walk past that mannequin every single day on the main hallway at Reedy High School that has bloody handprints on it? Or a teacher that's been through that. I mean, unbelievable. I can't believe that adults let this kind of thing happen in their school, promote this kind of thing happen. And again, don't forget, 24 sexually explicit books that are hidden back in the back of the library, and this is only 1 or 2 books, 24 sexually explicit books in this case, promoted, displayed. I mean, like the covers. I mean, they're not like on a bookshelf. I'm talking about like covers facing out, 24 books facing out on the main hallway at Reedy High School. Now, the day after we posted that on social media, thanks to the brave parents who sent us this, and teachers, quite frankly, that have sent us some of this information, we posted the next day it's gone. The next day it's gone at Reedy High School.
Somebody co-signed on it. The principal and somebody.
Absolutely.
Power walked by that display.
How many people have seen it? That's right, absolutely. And so,
somebody who had the opportunity to make the change.
yes.
Walked by that.
Yep.
And let it stay.
Well, and look, I signed up for this job. This is a very public position that I hold. And you know that going in. But there's a lot of teachers who sign up because they love kids. And sign up because they're passionate about teaching kids. And that a lot of them are afraid because of the day and age that we live in, and the social media outcry that we live in, and the fact that people will dox you and show up. I mean, my gosh, you can be a Supreme Court justice in this country and have people show up at your home with knives and guns and all kinds of stuff wanting to kill you and your family. I mean, these are dangerous times that we live in. Most of that kind of stuff rolls off my back because I knew what I signed up for, right? But that poor teacher doesn't. And they're afraid of getting fired. They have nobody within the administration standing up for them. And the reason I say nobody without knowing all the administrators in First Independent School District is because I'm not getting any responses at all. Now, they're reaching out to some of my colleagues and saying, oh, we want to meet with you on this important library book issue. We're not going to meet the guy that's done all the research and like spend all the time with it. We're going to completely ignore him, but we want to meet with you about this because we want to save face. And they could have done that 6 months ago. Let's talk about the book vendors. I think I said that twice today already. But so the book vendors. So we held a meeting. There's basically 3 main vendors that I've come across so far. Okay, there may be more out there. But there's 3 main vendors I've come across so far. McKinney, which I've not yet met with. We have a letter out to them. We hope to meet with them. Permabound, which is the book vendor that sold genderqueer to Prosper Independent School District. And Follett, which I mentioned earlier, which is the largest one in the country. Okay? Now, McKinney, we haven't met with, M-A-C-K-I-N. But Permabound, we did meet with. And they're a family-owned company, a Midwestern company. And they sent their national sales manager to my district office. And he also came back and met with Representative Shaheen in his office as well. And I'm going to tell you, I felt so bad for that guy. He was embarrassed. He was shocked. He was appalled. He was determined to do something about it. As a company, as a family-owned company, they were embarrassed that they had sold that book and others like it to school districts. You're saying, now wait a minute, they're the ones selling the books, right? Well, what we found out is that they're really just kind of a go-between, right? Like districts say, we want these types of books, they go get the types of books, they haven't read them either. Yeah, I mean, they go out and the publishers publish the books. I'm sure the publishers have these sweetheart deals where, yeah, we'll throw in some books for free, or, however their business works, right? They're just the middleman kind of passing these through, okay? So Birmingham goes back to the office and they pull 40 books out of their national catalog. 40 different books that they pulled out of their national catalog and have pledged to make other changes to their system. Now they're a smaller, like I said, they're a smaller family-owned company that sells books. And they reacted as I think anyone in this room would have reacted had you realized that something had happened. And then on June 7th, we met with Follett. And I was kind of expecting something similar, but shame on me, because had I just realized that their corporate owners are from San Francisco, I probably could have better had an understanding of how they would have reacted. We had Brittany Follett, a lady with the same last name as the company. Yes, you heard that right. Follett is the name of the company, and this is Brittany Follett, one of the heirs of the company. I think 150-year-old company or something like that. I wonder if the guy that started the company thought they'd be selling this kind of crap to kids. And she flew from Chicago, and there was a gentleman there that flew in from Atlanta to meet with Representative Shaheen and me. And the reason we use these stuff together is because we both represent Frisco, Prosper, Shalina, kind of on either side of the county line, and then he's got some stuff I don't have, and I've got some stuff he doesn't have. But we met with Follett last week on June 7th in my district office in Frisco, and it could not have been worse, to be honest. I mean, it was so bad that we got it left. We just said, I'm tired of hearing this. There was excuse after excuse. There was, did you know that there was another Bill of Rights? Did you know that? I know you probably learned about like one Bill of Rights in school. Do you know that there's a librarian Bill of Rights? Do you know about that? I don't know if it carries the same weight as a regular Bill of Rights. But, yeah, it's probably there was a librarian Bill of Rights, and in Article 7, yes, there are at least 7 articles of the librarian Bill of Rights. In Article 7, it says, among other things, that there is every library user, regardless of all the things that you would think, fill in the blank, but one of them is age, has the right to privacy of their library use. The right, every user, regardless of age, has the right to privacy of their library use. And I said, from who? I mean, look, I get it, okay? If my kid checks a book out of the library, I don't want Frederick Fraser being able to say, hey, what Jared Patterson's kid checked out of the library, right? I don't even want other kids necessarily to know what my kid checks out of the library. That's my kid, and I'm responsible for him. And I have the right to know every single thing that happens to my kid.
Amen.
Because at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. I'm the one ultimately responsible for their education. They have a right to privacy. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there are some in the education system that will allow a child to change their gender at school and not tell the parents at home. So I'm sorry if I don't just blanket trust every single person, with my kid while they're away from me. Now, Follett got in a little bit of trouble earlier this year because they have an online system called Destiny. Destiny is an online system that runs the library, basically. Okay, runs all the books, has a database of all the books, kids have access to it, all that. And they have this crazy idea that parents could log in and say that there's certain books that their kids shouldn't be able to check out, right? I mean, can you imagine having that kind of control over another human being? Okay, you know what stopped them? That pesky librarian Bill of Rights. They said these large northeastern state librarians. Well, I said that wrong. I didn't mean large librarians. out-of-state, northeastern librarians, let me get that right, and they were meeting in New York, okay, they were meeting in New York State. These librarians in New York State said, no, you can't give the parents parental controls over the child's library use because that violates the librarian's Bill of Rights. Because again, they have the right to privacy at adult age. And after alleged massive backlash on social media, they did what every woke corporation does, and they countered to the left. And they said, you know what? And here's the quote from Britton Follow. Parental controls are not in the best interest of our customers.
Huh.
Parental controls are not in the best interest of our customers. Does that blow your mind? Now look, I'm not talking about books that have two dads. I'm not talking about books that have gay characters. I'm not talking about books that may have some innuendo or thought-provoking literature. Okay? I am in a very tight lane of sexually explicit pornographic books. I read